Hello and welcome, dear friends. Today, I'm going to share with you a beautiful and inspiring story that will touch your heart. So, grab a drink, sit back, and let's enjoy this journey together. And if you're learning English, this story is told in easy English just for you. Let's begin. In a busy town in a small country, there lived a kind taxi driver named Samir. Every day, he drove people to work, to school, and to the market. He worked hard and always smiled, even when he was tired. But deep in his heart, Samir had a big dream. He wanted to learn English and one day work in the United States. He believed that if he could speak English, new doors would open for him. But there was one problem: Samir had never studied English before. Chapter 1: Samir's Everyday Life and His Secret Dream. Amir was 38 years old. He lived in a small house with his wife Amina and their 2 children. Every morning, he woke up at 5:30 a.m. He washed his face, prayed, and drank a cup of strong black tea. Then he kissed his wife goodbye and left to start his day. Amir was a taxi driver. He had been driving his old yellow taxi for more than 10 years. The taxi was not very new, but it still worked well. He kept it clean, played soft music, and always smiled when passengers got in. His city was busy in the morning. Many people needed a ride. Some were students going to school. Some were workers going to offices. Some were mothers going to the market. Samir was always kind to everyone. He talked to old people and helped them with their bags. He gave sweets to children. Everyone liked him. He was known as the friendly driver. But Amir had a secret. He had a dream. Every day, after dropping off passengers, Amir looked out the window and imagined a different life. He imagined himself wearing a shirt and tie, working in a big company in the United States. He imagined speaking English clearly, writing emails, and joining meetings. He didn't want to drive a taxi forever. He wanted something more. Amir didn't hate his job. It helped him feed his family. But deep inside, he felt he was capable of more. He wanted to grow, to learn something new. And for that, he knew one thing was very important: English. But there was a problem. Amir didn't go to university. He finished school early to work and help his father. He didn't speak English at all. He didn't know how to start. He also didn't have much free time. After work, he was tired. He also didn't have much money for classes. Still, the dream stayed in his heart. One evening, after dinner, Samir sat with his wife and told her everything. "Amina," he said quietly, "I want to learn English." She looked surprised. "English? Why?" "I want to work in the United States one day. I want to change our life." Amina smiled. "That's a big dream. But I believe in you." Amir felt happy. He wasn't alone. He had his wife's support. That night, he couldn't sleep. He looked at the ceiling and thought, where do I start? Chapter 2: A Turning Point. For many months, Amir kept learning. He listened to English on the radio while driving. He repeated the words again and again. Some passengers noticed and smiled. Others asked questions. "Why are you talking to yourself?" one man asked. Amir laughed. "I'm not talking to myself. I'm practicing English." One woman said, "You have a nice accent. Are you learning for fun?" Amir answered, "No, I want to work in the US one day. I have a dream." People liked his story. Some even gave him tips on pronunciation. One young student gave Amir a notebook full of English expressions. "Use this," he said. "It helped me in school." Amir felt happy. He was not alone. People supported him. Even his wife started helping him practice at night. "Good evening, sir," she would say. Amir replied, "Good evening. Where do you want to go?" They both laughed. It was like a game, but it helped. One day, a businessman from America entered Amir's taxi. He was lost and needed help. Amir took a deep breath and spoke in English. "Hello, sir. Where do you want to go?" The man smiled. "Oh. You speak English? That's great." Amir nodded. "I'm learning. I want to work in your country one day." The man was impressed. During the ride, they talked about many things: life, work, family. Before leaving, the man said, "Amir, you have a strong heart. Keep learning. Here's my card. If you ever come to New York, call me." Amir was shocked. A real connection. A real chance. He looked at the card every day. It gave him hope. Chapter 3, New Hope. After meeting the American man, Amir felt a new kind of energy. Every morning, he woke up early, opened his notebook, and studied before starting his taxi work. He started listening to English podcasts while cleaning the car. He used subtitles on YouTube to watch English interviews and shows. He wrote down new words and repeated them out loud. One evening, his wife brought him tea and said, "Amir, your English is better now. I understand more when you speak." Amir smiled. "Thank you. I still make mistakes, but I'm not afraid anymore." A few weeks later, Amir decided to send an email to the American man who had given him the card. He wrote, "Hello, Mr. Williams. This is Amir, the taxi driver you met in my country. I am still learning English. Thank you for the kind words. One day, I will come to New York and call you. Best regards. Amir." He was nervous, but he clicked send. 2 days later, Mr. Williams replied, "Dear Amir, I remember you very well. Your message made me smile. Keep going. If you ever visit New York, my company is always looking for drivers who speak English. Good luck. Mr. Williams." Amir showed the email to his wife. Her eyes filled with tears. "Maybe your dream is possible," she whispered. From that day, Amir studied even harder. He printed the email and put it on the wall next to his bed. Every night, before sleeping, he looked at it and said, "One day, I will go." He didn't know when. But now, he believed it was possible. Chapter 4, The English Class. One afternoon, while waiting for a client near the train station, Amir saw a sign on a wall. It said, "Free English classes, every Saturday at 5 p.m. For adults, all levels welcome. Community Center, Room 3. Amir looked at the sign for a long time. "Free classes," he said softly. "Maybe I can learn more." The next Saturday, Amir parked his taxi early and walked to the community center. He was nervous, but he opened the door to Room 3. Inside, there were about 15 people. Some were young, some old. They all wanted to learn English. The teacher smiled and said, "Welcome. Please, sit anywhere." Amir sat down quietly. The class started with introductions. Everyone said their name and one sentence in English. When it was Amir's turn, he stood and said, "My name is Amir. I am a taxi driver. I want to speak English because I have a dream." Everyone clapped. After class, the teacher came to him. "You speak well," she said kindly. "You can learn fast if you keep practicing." Amir felt proud. Every Saturday after that, he went to class. He made new friends. They helped each other. They laughed, made mistakes, and improved together. Sometimes, Amir brought his English notebook to work. When there were no clients, he read and practiced. One of his passengers once asked, "Are you studying English?" Amir smiled. "Yes. One day, I want to work in the United States." The man said, "That's a big dream." Amir replied, "Yes. But every dream starts small." Chapter 5, A Special Passenger. One cold evening, Amir was tired. It was almost 10 p.m., and he wanted to go home. But then, his phone rang. It was a request for one last ride. He accepted. When he arrived, a man in a suit got into the car. He looked rich and important. He said, "To the Grand Hotel, please." Amir nodded. "Yes, sir." During the ride, Amir drove carefully. The man was looking at his phone, but after a few minutes, he said, "You speak English well. Did you learn in school?" Amir smiled. "No, sir. I never finished school. I learn English by myself. I also go to free classes on Saturdays." The man looked surprised. "That's impressive. Why do you want to learn English?" Amir answered with honesty. "Because I want to work in the United States. I want a better life. And I know English is important." The man was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "You have big dreams." Amir replied, "Yes. I believe in hard work." When they arrived at the hotel, the man paid and gave Amir a big tip. But then, he also gave him a business card. "If you ever want help," the man said, "call me. I work with people who help others find jobs and training abroad." Amir looked at the card in his hand. He couldn't believe it. "Thank you, sir," he said, his voice full of emotion. That night, Amir didn't sleep much. He kept looking at the card. He felt something new, hope. Chapter 6, A Difficult Time. Just when Amir started to feel hopeful, life became hard again. One morning, his daughter Lena woke up with a fever. She was weak and couldn't eat. Amir and his wife took her to the doctor. The doctor said Lena had a virus and needed rest and care for many days. Amir was worried. He loved his daughter more than anything. Every day, he worked from morning until evening. But now, after work, he didn't go to English class. He went straight home to help take care of Lena. He gave her soup, helped her take her medicine, and read stories to her at night. Lena liked that. Her favorite story was about a little bird that learned how to fly. Amir was tired. He missed his English lessons. But his daughter came first. "I can learn English later," he told himself. "Now I must be a good father." Days turned into weeks. Lena was still sick, and the doctor said she needed more tests. Amir had to spend a lot of money. He used the money he saved for his dream. For the United States, to pay for her treatment. Sometimes, Amir felt very sad. He looked at the business card the rich man gave him. It was still in his wallet. But he didn't call. He felt now was not the right time. At night, when Lena was asleep, Amir would sit alone and look at his old English books. "I will come back to my dream," he whispered. And deep in his heart, he believed it. Chapter 7, A Big Sacrifice. Lena's condition did not improve. After many days, her fever returned. She started coughing and crying from pain. Amir and his wife rushed her back to the hospital. The doctors did many tests. One of them came and spoke to Amir quietly. "Your daughter needs surgery," he said. "It is the only way to save her." Amir's heart dropped. The surgery was very expensive. Much more than he had. He went home and looked at his little apartment. There was nothing left to sell. No jewelry, no extra phone, no savings. Just one thing remained. His taxi. The car he used every day to earn money. The car that helped him support his family. The car that was part of his dream. Amir sat in the driver's seat and touched the steering wheel. This car gave me hope, he whispered. But my daughter is my life. That evening, he found a buyer. The man gave him cash. Amir handed him the keys, his hands shaking. He walked home. No car. No job. But he had the money for the surgery. At the hospital, Amir held Lena's hand tightly as she went into the operation room. His wife sat beside him and cried. Amir didn't cry. He looked up and said, "Please, just let her live." The hours passed slowly. Finally, the doctor came out. The surgery was successful, he said. Amir closed his eyes and let out a deep breath. His daughter was safe. He had lost his car, his job, and his classes, but he still had his daughter. And in that moment, that was enough. Chapter 8, No Diploma, No Job. After Lena came home from the hospital, Amir tried to smile again. His daughter was safe, and that was the most important thing. But now, they had no money. No car. No job. And the bills continued to come. One morning, Amir put on his cleanest shirt and walked out. He was ready to find work. He first went to several restaurants and hotels in the city. He asked, "Do you need employees? I can work hard." But many owners said, "No, we don't need workers right now." Others said, "Sorry, we are full. No jobs available." Amir did not give up. He looked for other types of jobs, jobs that needed more education or skills. He went to offices and companies. "I want to work." "What do you need?" Amir asked. A man said, "You need a diploma or a certificate to get a job here." Another woman said, "Without studies or diplomas, we cannot hire you." Amir felt sad. He explained, "I can learn and work hard." But they shook their heads. "Sorry, rules are rules. You must have the right papers." Amir walked from place to place, hearing the same words. He was tired and disappointed, but his dream was still alive. That night, Amir walked home slowly. He had no job, no money, and no answers. But deep inside, one thing still burned, his dream. Chapter 9, A Missed Call. A few days later, while Amir was still looking for small jobs, an unexpected opportunity came his way, but he didn't know it. That morning, with almost no money left, Amir made a difficult decision. He sold his small phone to buy milk and bread for Lena. He returned to their small room, his heart heavy but relieved that his daughter would have something to eat. At the same time, an American businessman named Mr. Collins, who had recently opened a construction company in the city, was urgently looking for a supervisor. His new workers were all from the same country as Amir, and he needed someone who spoke their language and understood their culture. Mr. Collins had heard about Amir from a former taxi customer who told him, "There's this young driver who speaks good English and really cares about helping people." Mr. Collins took the number and made the call. But all he heard was a recorded message. "The number you have dialed is no longer in service." Mr. Collins frowned. "That's strange," he whispered to himself. After a few minutes, he gave up, thinking the young man might have left town or changed his mind. Just a few streets away, Amir sat on a sidewalk, holding a sleeping Lena in his arms, unaware that someone had just tried to offer him the chance he had been dreaming of. Chapter 10, An Email That Changed Everything. 2 days later, Amir was finally able to buy back a small used phone with the little money he earned from helping clean a small cafe. It wasn't new, but it worked. As soon as he turned it on and connected to the internet, dozens of old notifications appeared. But one message caught his attention. It was an email. Subject, Supervisor Position, Urgent Response Needed. From Mr. Collins. Date, 2 days ago. Dear Amir. I tried calling you but the number was unavailable. A client spoke very highly of you, and I believe you could be the perfect person to supervise a team of workers from your home country at our new site in Nebraska. I'm offering you a full-time job with housing provided. You have 3 days to come to the city. If you are interested, please reply or call me as soon as possible. Sincerely, Mr. Collins. Amir's heart started beating faster. He immediately called the number in the email. Hello, this is Mr. Collins, said a calm voice. Mr. Collins, this is Amir. I just read your email. I'm very interested, thank you so much for this opportunity. Mr. Collins smiled on the other end. I'm glad you reached out, Amir. I still need someone. But remember, you have 3 days to arrive. Can you make it? Amir paused. His heart was full of joy, but his pockets were empty. How could he possibly afford a bus ticket to the U.S. city where the job was waiting? He looked at Lena, sleeping beside him, and whispered to himself. I don't know how yet, but I will find a way. Chapter 11, A Wife's Sacrifice. Amir sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the message from Mr. Collins. He had only 3 days to travel to the U.S. city where the job was waiting. The opportunity of a lifetime was just one step away, but how could he get there without money? He shared the news with his wife. Her eyes lit up with joy at first, but soon clouded with concern. She knew what this meant to him. She knew how long he had waited for such a chance. That night, while Amir slept restlessly, she stayed awake, thinking. The next morning, she left the house quietly. She went to a wealthy family in the neighborhood who had once offered her a cleaning job. She explained her situation and made a bold request, to sign a 3-month contract as a housemaid, and receive the full payment in advance. The woman of the house hesitated at first, but after seeing her sincerity and dedication, she agreed. By the evening, Amir's wife came back home and handed him an envelope. Inside, was exactly the amount he needed. Tears welled up in Amir's eyes. How did you? He asked. She smiled softly and said. I just did what any wife would do for the man she believes in. Amir hugged her tightly. That night, they packed his bag together, with hope, love, and silent prayers. Chapter 12, The Journey Begins. The sun had not yet risen when Amir zipped up his old suitcase. His heart was heavy, but full of hope. Today was the day he would leave for the United States. The job as a supervisor was waiting, and so was a new life. His wife helped him put on his jacket. She straightened his collar with trembling hands and whispered. Take care of yourself. Make this count. Their daughter, still half asleep, ran into the room and hugged Amir tightly. Will you come back soon, Daddy? Amir smiled and knelt down. I'll come back stronger. I promise. And when I do, I'll tell you all the amazing stories. Outside, a neighbor waited to take Amir to the airport by car. Before leaving, Amir looked around their small home one last time. Every corner held a memory. Every wall had heard his dreams. He kissed his wife's forehead and whispered. You're the reason I can do this. As the car drove off, his wife stood at the door, holding their daughter, waving until the car disappeared from sight. In the car, Amir looked out the window. His heart beat fast. He didn't know what the future would bring. But he knew one thing. He was no longer just a taxi driver with a dream. He was a man on a mission, with love behind him, and purpose ahead. Chapter 13, A New World. After a long flight, Amir finally arrived in the United States. The airport was big, full of lights and people speaking fast English. Amir felt nervous, but also excited. This was the start of a new chapter. Outside the airport, Mr. Collins was waiting. He smiled and waved as Amir walked toward him. "Welcome, Amir. How was your flight?" "It was good. Thank you for this opportunity," Amir replied with a big smile. Mr. Collins drove Amir to the apartment the company had prepared. It was small but clean and quiet. "You'll rest today," Mr. Collins said. "Tomorrow, we start training. You'll meet the team and I'll show you everything." Amir nodded. That night, he couldn't sleep. He looked out the window at the city lights and thought about his family. "I must work hard," he whispered. "They are counting on me." Back in their home country, Amir's wife was also starting a new chapter. She had signed a contract to work as a housekeeper for 3 months. The job was not easy. She cleaned floors, washed dishes, and took care of laundry. Every day, she woke up early to prepare her daughter's food, dress her, and take her to school. Then she walked to her workplace. Her boss, a kind woman, noticed her hard work. "You are doing a great job," she said. "I'll pay you the full amount in advance, as we agreed." Amir's wife took the money, thanked her, and kept it safe. She had already sent most of it to Amir to help with his travel and first days. At night, she helped their daughter with schoolwork and told her stories about her father. "Daddy is brave," she said. "He's chasing a dream so you can have a better life." The little girl smiled. "I want to be brave like him too." Amir and his wife were now living in 2 different worlds, but their hearts beat as one. Both were working hard, dreaming big, and doing everything for their family. The journey had just begun. Chapter 14, A New Beginning. Amir had been working hard as a supervisor under Mr. Collins for several months. He was respected by the workers and appreciated by his employer. When he finally received his first full salary, he felt an overwhelming sense of pride and gratitude. Without hesitation, he called his wife and said, "My love, it's time. I want you and our daughter to join me here." His wife was overjoyed. Within a few weeks, she and their daughter arrived in the United States. Amir met them at the airport with tears in his eyes, holding a small bouquet and a big smile. They found a modest but comfortable apartment in a quiet neighborhood. Their daughter started school and quickly adapted to her new environment. She was happy, safe, and learning. Amir's wife continued to work part-time as a housekeeper while taking care of their daughter. Life was not always easy, but it was full of hope and love. Soon, they received even more joyful news. Amir's wife was expecting a second child. Together, they had turned a life of struggle into a future of possibility. Amir had followed his dream, and in doing so, he had changed the life of his family forever. Amir had finally achieved what once seemed impossible. From driving a taxi in his home country to supervising workers in the United States, his journey was built on courage, sacrifice, and faith in a better future. They didn't have everything, but they had love, unity, and a dream that kept growing stronger. Amir's story reminds us all, dreams take time, but with hard work, love, and patience, they can come true. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Tell us in the comments, what dream are you working toward? And remember, never stop believing in your dream. One small step today can lead to a big change tomorrow. See you in the next video.